Happy Veterans Day to all you veterans out there. We appreciate your service and welcome to week 17 of the BEBC
BS
Podcast. Morning, fellas.
Morning.
Hey.
How's everybody doing?
Morning.
All right.
Yeah, the calves are a little bit sore from climbing up all them stairs.
Westerberg making an appearance this morning down there at the end of the table. It was a long way up to the top of the tin can last night. Another Allen victory, 44-28 over wide awake Wylie.
Defense took a little bit to wake up, but boy,
Chippy.
they woke up. Oh, it was chippy.
Chippy's always fun.
They came to play.
Who did?
Wylie.
Yep. Coach was throwing his hat on the field.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Wow, he was very vocal.
He was very large.
But not in charge.
Largemouth bass.
There you go. On a chilly night, not a cold night, in Wylie, Texas. The crowd finally showed up. I mean, it was scary there for a minute. I didn't think we were going to have as many people as Wylie.
45 minutes to go to kickoff, and it was dead on our side. And I was like, are you kidding me?
And a lot of that probably had to do with traffic.
Yeah, it's not the easiest stadium to get into.
544 is a parking lot in the afternoons.
Yeah.
Country Club was good.
Isn't that nice since they widened that to 6 lanes?
Jeez.
Makes it so much
text
easier.
Dot or City or whoever did that.
Well, by widening Country Club, and then they widened whatever it is over there by South Fork, too.
Murphy Road.
Murphy Road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you get stuck behind the band buses, it ain't so bad now. Where before it was, you're there. So, starts off, Allen gets the ball, 3 and out. Very unimpressive on that first drive.
Yep.
In fact, someone leaned over to me and said, why are we waiting to the third play of the game to give the ball to Brock?
We gave it to him on 4th down,
Well, and they did.
and then we converted.
Yeah, that was a good conversion.
That was,
But then we teetered.
Well, then we did the fake punt, got a second reprieve and chance, and then
We just said that.
Is there an echo in here?
Oh, welcome to the show, Dave.
hey, Dave, welcome in.
that's
Wow, that's awesome. They did that on the ticket the other day. They talked about, they played a bunch of stuff where one of the hosts would say something, and like 30 seconds later, they would say the same exact thing, and they're looking at each other like, what the heck?
Hey, that was age related.
That was. But we did the fake punt, but did not score. Because then we punted. Wylie fumbles the punt. Allen
Oops.
recovers,
Gets it on like the 8 or 10 yard line.
and it starts.
so our first three touchdowns.
First 3 touchdowns were all
were off of
turnovers.
turnovers.
Yeah.
We
Defense
didn't
was
got
on
nothing
fire.
on our own.
You got to make it on both sides of the ball, and the defense was making plays, taking advantage of little bobbles by Wylie and doing something with it. So kudos to the defense.
You know, it is what it is.
That's a rousing endorsement.
I don't know even what to say about this game. There's a lot to talk about, but what do you say? See,
I
you
was-
don't even know what to say either.
I'll be honest, I was disappointed in the way because you would think by the last game of the season, we would be a little
Running on
sharp.
all cylinders.
Yeah, we'd be running on all cylinders. Now, granted, did we have players out last night? Absolutely. But still, as much playing time as everybody's gotten this year, it should have looked a heck of a lot better than what it did last night. And it just, brings up concerns in the playoffs. I mean,
Well, they're going to have to step up. They're going to get hit in the mouth because everybody's coming and trying to specialty game plan. We know Hebron has a special play probably worked up for us, but we'll get into that later.
onside kick.
There you go.
Thad, your thoughts on the game last night? You always have the deep football insight that the rest of us never see. So
Deep thoughts by Dad.
I would have liked to, like Nolan said, I would have liked to seen, I guess, a better product on the field last night. There were areas in which I think we could have exploited a little better against Wylie. And it started to show in the second half. We had wore their defense down, and kind of at will done some things. And then they pulled the plug, which I don't necessarily – there's two, like we've been saying for the past few weeks, that's a two-edged sword. You play guys and they get hurt or Potentially last night Brock gets his ankle gator rolled, and those are the types of things that you try to guard against by getting some other kids in there. But it does kind of make you concerned if we're going to be able to compete in the fourth quarter if we need to. So, but as far as the play-by-play, there were some things, especially we gave up some big plays to Wylie last night, and that's concerning. And that was with the big boys in there. So I think Kane will have some points of coaching that he can nail on this week, and we'll see what we do against Hebron. I think we'll have to tune it up a little bit.
Oh my God, Westerberg's in the house.
All right. Well, keep that in mind because we got a lot of talks about Mr. Toon. We had fun with him yesterday.
So I think Kane usually makes his adjustments and usually pretty early. But last night, they coming out that after the second half, into the second half. I mean, you could tell that he had a nice stern talk with the guys, and they upped their game.
Fire.
Yeah, and they put some stomps on them.
What was it, 28-14 at half?
35-5. Remember, we got that fumble at
that's
the
right,
very
that's
end of the
right.
half.
35-14 at half.
And we came out in the third quarter. Allen came out in the third quarter, and so we scored a touchdown.
Actually got the safety first, didn't we?
Yeah, because we had to kick to them.
Yep.
That guy
Then we got the safety.
bobbled it.
No, we
on his
scored
knee
first.
Right at the.
Oh, no, you're right. Safety first. Yep. Yeah, that was a fun play.
37. Oh, yeah.
Throwing the ball forward.
The refs almost screwed
Well,
that up.
That was after that 71-yard punt, right?
No, it was
No?
on the kickoff. Remember, he fumbled the kickoff. And
He
That's
bobbled it,
right.
and then he went down on
Right.
his knee to grab it.
Like the 5-yard line,
Yeah.
and then they went back to the 2-yard line, and then it was almost a
a safety on
Almost
the
a
second
safety.
down.
Quarterback.
That was one of the many times the coach threw his hat out on the field and said, "No, that was a forward pass." Underhanding it.
shuttle pass from the running
Right.
back. Right.
He was out of the pocket, but he
Yeah.
didn't get it back to the line of scrimmage.
That was hilarious.
And I totally went blank on what I was fixing to say. So somebody say
So
something.
good job, defense. Way to
Something.
go.
Man, dude, you need to up your beta carotene or whatever it is that makes that memory better.
I had
Geritol.
too much fun last night. I don't remember hardly anything. So
Dance fever.
dance fever broke out.
Non-alcoholic.
Don't get too much into that. That is partly going to be in there. Rumor has it.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Look out. So, to be fair, it was 44-14 at the end of the third quarter. So
And the second and third strings were
we're playing,
fully in.
and I had a little bit of discussion with Alan and Thad last night about this. I think, and again, I hate to be critical. You're up 44-14, but you bring your second and third string in, and you stop doing what you do every day in practice.
Right.
Because we've all been to practice. We see how they practice. We see how Allen runs their offense, and it's speed, 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 speed. You run a play, you line up, you run a play. And they get the second and third team in there, and they have them huddle, which they never do.
Quarterback runs to the side.
Quarterback runs to the sideline, and then he waits till 10 seconds left on the clock to have him run back in. And so they're rushing to get a play off.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's not what they do. And the continuity,
It's gone.
everybody saw it last
You don't want
night.
to play on your heels.
It
Yeah,
was
that's
horrible. I mean, I looked at 9 first downs for Allen.
Yeah.
And I don't know if any of them came in the latter half of the third or fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And it's hard to watch again. They won, big deal, but it's hard to watch, and I feel bad for those kids because they're not doing what they do every day.
Right.
And I'm sorry.
And you play like you practice. Well, they're not playing like they practice because their hands are tied.
There's some really good hits last night in the latter
Oh, my
quarters.
gosh, yeah.
And the defense looked like they were playing very well, but Wylie was probably tired because they only had 14 players on the field. And, they were beat up. They were having trouble getting up off the ground and, struggling and limping, and it was just awful.
It goes back to that chippiness factor. That's the one thing that, from a coaching perspective, too, there were, I don't know how many unsportsmanlike conduct penalties last night on Allen. I mean, Allen had 9 penalties.
I don't know. You couldn't hear the ref.
He was facing the other way.
It didn't matter. He didn't have a microphone or anything.
But
Yeah, there were some bad penalty calls, but then there were some legit 15-yarders.
That touchdown
It was
call.
frustrating. Well, actually,
Actually, it was a touchdown.
It was a
Was it?
touchdown.
Replay
I
shows.
swore because I had the binoculars right on it, and there was no way. But
the kid catches it. His butt is kind of facing the end zone, and he turns a little bit. Right the second before he gets hit, he shoves it off to the side, and it goes over. And the ref had backed up about 5 yards away from the goal line. Perfect line of sight to see it. I give it to him.
All right.
Good job.
Yeah, I still,
But regardless, that was a good hit.
Oh, yeah.
Dang good hit.
he did get a lot. Yeah, he paid for the 6 points.
Speaking of a good hit, how about our sophomore linebacker, Healy, nailing their quarterback? I don't care what you say. That was good.
Well, and looking at the replay again, that was good. His head was really close to the other guy's head, but it was all hands to the chest. And he ended up hitting the ground and the head, and that's part of the reason why he stayed down. So it was a good big hit.
But was it targeting? Because targeting involves the helmet.
I don't think so because his head did not snap. I didn't see any of
No.
those.
Did
direct
Healy's helmet? Did he use
Lead
it?
with
face
the
mask
head.
to face mask.
Okay.
And his hands were right in front, and it was boom. I don't think it
It's
should
the whole quarterback thing, though.
Oh yeah.
You know, you hit the
Gotta
quarterback
protect him.
like that, you're
Defenseless.
probably going to draw a flag. You hit a running back like that or a receiver, maybe not.
and we hit a receiver like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did.
On
And
the same play.
And the hat,
Yeah, because I didn't see that hit.
and the
'cause
hat
everybody
came
was
off
asking,
on the
hey, what's the
sidelines.
penalty on the quarterback hit or the receiver hit? I didn't see the receiver hit. I was looking through the
Well,
binoculars.
and the quarterback hit also was a little bit late. So that may have had something to do with it, too.
It
You draw
was-
attention.
Yeah, I would say a half step late.
Yeah.
But you can't, I mean, it's
I
in
still
real
like it.
time. Yeah, it's in real
I still
time.
like it.
I hear you, brother.
Alan's here today.
It was one
So
of
did
those,
all the coaches and the players when he came off the field.
Yeah, but
Probably one of
he's out next week.
probably one of those frustration hits from
First
that
half?
quarterback running
Full
all around
game.
the place and
Not the whole game.
avoiding our
If you do it in the
tacklers.
second half, you're out the next game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm not sure that's right.
Well,
That's collegiate. I don't know if high school
That's
is.
Gamble's rule.
Oh.
Well,
Well, somebody's in the know.
And Gamble had a lot
I'm
of rules
affiliated with the program.
are you bona fide?
I'm not.
I think last night there was more personal huddles with the punters and the kickers than there were with the rest of the team.
Yeah, a
I
little,
mean, it was
a
pretty.
little accuracy
You ju-
problem on the kickoffs.
There's no, can't even think of the word I'm looking for.
You need a dictionary?
Yeah, something like that.
Thesaurus.
I'll
He'll figure
move
it out.
on.
Webster,
yeah.
can you help him out?
Move on.
Mr. Webster.
All right, we'll move along. So that's it. A 10-0 regular season.
Yep. One thing at the end of the game, I'm going to throw in the FDN now. I got to do it because it's part of the game. So Austin Drake, last play of the game,
Austin, brother.
he runs and he's going and he's going and he gets hit just almost at the goal line and he falls about 1.5 yards short.
Okay.
FDN says, well, Austin Drake has been sick all week. So if he hadn't have been sick, he'd have made that touchdown.
No.
I don't know now because Junkie played the best game of his life last year against San Angelo with
A little
IVs.
sickness, yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
All right. That begs to bring up, and that we didn't bring it up. Let's be honest. Wylie had some hosses on that team, man.
There were a couple stars.
They got a couple stars on that team. Number 5 was a major standout last night, and that was who got him on the kickoff
Was it?
return
Okay.
at the end of the game. That
So
kid
if you're a
was
junior,
really-
just saying, you're graduating a lot of our secondary.
That goes to anybody statewide who's listening, right
Yeah,
there.
we don't
Ted.
recruit. We just,
we just throw it out
we
there.
just throwing it out there.
We just show the opportunity that
Our,
does exist.
our culinary arts program is
And if
beyond
you're going to accuse us of it, we might as well do it.
Hey, kudos to also, and I've just got to say this because I've been rooting for the kid ever since he came back from injury, Juwan Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, congratulations.
Yeah,
got
he
his
got his
first
first
touchdown.
touchdown.
We've been waiting all year.
Speed racer.
Speed racer.
87 yards.
And to stay on your feet,
Speedy
'cause-
Gonzalez.
that reminded me, I had flashbacks to Bo Jackson breaking his
man.
hip because it was kind of that same thing when he went down and it was awkward. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, no.
Yeah.
But he hung on. Hey, it's that wrestling in him.
Yep.
You know,
Stay on your feet.
there you go. So kudos, Juwan.
Good job.
Great run. Got us all jacked up on the top row, and it was fun.
Yeah,
We're
the
happy for you.
dancing started up.
Oh, Lord.
That was ugly.
Dad's got something on that, too. All right, 10-0. Again, for how many years in a row now?
Ever.
42.
Since 2012.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've seen a regular season loss. And so now here
I
come
was talking district.
the playoffs.
Yeah, it is.
Allen wins district. It's a home game.
Hebron.
Mr. Brian Brazel brings his Hebron Hawks to Eagle Stadium. You know he's thrilled.
The one-play wonders.
The one-play wonders.
Hey, they beat Southlake last night.
They did
Yeah.
beat Southlake,
Congratulations on that.
which makes
Now,
you
what,
makes
quit
you
congratulating them.
wonder.
Build them up.
Anybody
Yeah.
that can beat Southlake, it's awesome.
Yeah,
But we don't say that.
yeah, we do.
What was that? 37-35?
36-31.
36-31 at the Woodshed. So Hebron brings an
By the
8.
way, I was the only one that picked that.
Just FYI.
What do you like?
Want a
8-1?
cookie?
8-1 so far?
What are you,
I'm
10?
12-1.
10-1?
Last night.
After picking 6 games, he's 12-1. Y'all figure it out. That's that Common Core Georgia math kicking in there.
He was counting some of y'all's along with his.
I
He's
guess.
been ciphering.
All right, 8-2. Their only losses to Trinity and of all teams, Plano. First game of the year.
Lost all respect for that team.
They're not the same team they were first part of the year. So
No.
it's going to be a test.
Good quarterback, Clayton Toon coming in.
Yeah.
Um,
Little tune ball. They got any good receivers?
they do.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Y'all keep talking here.
Mo, you get on your bicycle, Mo. I don't care if you
Well,
get a
and-
little pass interference. You play aggressive.
Javon Jones did not play last night. I'm sure he'll be back.
Oh,
he
he
didn't.
looked good.
We should have everybody back that
That
was
we
out
need.
that we
Yeah.
need.
Yeah.
And, I don't think next Friday is going to be any different than what we've seen throughout the regular season.
You don't think so, huh?
Train
Yeah.
kept it rolling.
Yeah, I think next week
All
a good
night long.
offense is going to be our good defense.
Yeah.
For a good defense, I think we'll just once again get ahead and make the other team one-dimensional. Come after them, get after them early and often. Kane will dial it up, and we'll be fine.
And as we saw in the Wylie game, the quarterback was doing pretty good when he could scramble, and he'd get a little time. But all of a sudden, in the second and third quarter, he was stepping and fetching and getting hit a little bit and having trouble throwing to the right person. So I would expect nothing less in the Hebron game.
Speaking of Southlake,
Sorry about that.
Is this a 6-minute story?
When oh
Is
crud,
this going to be a long story?
Nathan
Papa?
Dick
Oh, Nathan.
separated his shoulder in that playoff game,
Yeah.
and they ended up kicking our butt. That was the last time they kicked our butt, I believe.
38-0.
After that, on the way home, listening to the beautiful Dragon Radio Network, I can remember Riley Dodge getting on there and saying something that has stuck with me ever since then.
Uh-oh.
And that was that what Coach Dodge teaches his kids is to kill the will of the opponent. And they keep the foot on the pedal all the way down until the other team acquiesces and starts making changes.
That
Wow,
means-
that's
that
a big.
means
That's
the
a 5-point
team
letter
gives
word
up.
there.
That was the word I was looking for earlier.
See? I had hit it, and I didn't want you to use it. Okay, so what they do is they keep the pedal to the metal until the other team acquiesces and starts putting in their subs. That shows them that they have killed the will of their opponent. Then they'll go ahead and substitute. But they do not substitute until the other team acquiesces. Yes, that's the third
I
time.
think that's pretty good.
And that's ever since I heard that really makes sense to me. You're not going to make a lot of friends, which I think Gamble is trying to do. And a lot of these district opponents, once we get up,
I don't think he's
he
trying to
doesn't
make friends.
he doesn't want to. I do. There's a reason why he's not shoving it in their face. I mean, we get
I
up,
agree.
and that's because that's the only reason. If it was Dodge, we would win these games 100 to 7.
I mean, the previous regime did it, obviously, but this regime seems to go overboard with it in a lot of cases. I mean,
You mean
At least in the
backing down, or
yeah, just starting and backing down, taking your foot off the pedal, and I remember we were still in the old regime. Yeah, we would get up to 60, we get up to 50, the high 50s, that kind of thing, and
70.
70, yeah, 70. It's like, hey, let's show people what we are. Nobody knows what we are right now. We don't know what we are.
Yeah.
We don't know what we really are yet because we have not put in a full, complete four-quarter game yet this entire season. We're going to have to probably, and I don't know if these kids are ready because they haven't played anywhere close to a full game.
And it's tough because the competition that we've faced in this district has been so lackadaisical. It is subpar is a good word. That you're up 40 to something to nothing hardly, and you do want. These are the same people that next year you could be facing, and I know coaches do that because they don't want to embarrass each other. But anyway. We'll see. This is a new season starting next week.
Yeah.
It's no holds barred. I mean, if they come out and they just start whooping, that's just what it is. You just keep going and going. That's the way I look at things, and I'm not a coach, and so that's why. Like last night, there were things I didn't like, and I kind of tried to keep my mouth shut as much as I could.
Oh, you're sneezing.
Well, that too. But I think it'll be really interesting to see if Gamble says, okay, guys, regular season's over. That's gone. This is a new season.
full speed
We
ahead?
start fresh. Yeah, full speed ahead.
Now, people wouldn't mind doing it to us, and they would keep the pedal on the metal against us for sure.
Everyone out there
You
would
think
do it.
back to last year, same regime. All right, so first round we played Trinity. We didn't get a chance to it was a 4-quarter struggle.
Yep.
Then we played Belton.
Belton.
And
That was kind of a
they
a
had those
test.
gigantic running backs and came back at them, and it was a 4-quarter game. So I think the boys will be ready for it. I'd just like to see, a little more evidence of it prior to now. So
Yep.
Yeah, I think we all want to see something crisper. I think that's what we're all looking for because 35 yards passing last night. That's unexcusable. There's no reason that team should only throw for 35 yards. And granted, again, we go back to they had they won and the game was out of reach before Wylie scored the last two. But again, your new season and you can't rest on what like I say, they're going to be ready. And it's Allen. And that's what those kids got to realize. I'm sure the kids do realize that it's Allen and everybody's going to give you their best shot. They don't care who you,
And try and
they
get
ain't
out
gonna have
ahead.
no
Acquiescentionists, yeah.
Omnicity about them.
and you better be ready for it. And that's I want to applaud Kane because that happens. It seems like every game, the last 2 or 3 weeks, the opponent's first drive they score.
Yeah.
They score, and then he makes the adjustments. Of course, in my mind, I'm going, why didn't you game plan that to begin with? And that shouldn't happen. But they have done a good job of
And shut it down.
down. But how far behind do you have to get before you?
You don't want to get too far behind. You
That's
don't want
the
another roulette.
It's a whole
Remember
different
Rowlett?
story now. And Hebron comes in. Trajan Bridges is their receiver. That's really good. He had a 70-yard punt return for a touchdown last night.
Speaking of passing and receiving, did Carson Schlecker play last night?
No.
I don't know. There's some new kid.
Yeah,
Kaysen.
Corey Shelker?
Corey Shelker.
He's
Welcome to the
just
team.
moved in.
Give me a shell cup.
Wide awake Wylie. Way to go, Mr. Announcer Man.
And it was all night long. It was funny. First it was, I don't know what it was, but
It's Kaysen.
Kaysen?
Kaysen Shelker. It was Shelker.
Bless your
all
heart,
night.
brother.
I think he was a Corey and a Kaysen. He was all over.
I don't know what it was.
We love you, Carson. Good job.
But anyhow, Hebron, 7:30 Friday night, and we'll see what they bring. They're going to bring their big
Gonna bring
sledgehammer.
it.
They're going to bring their hammer and come out with it. Bringing the wood. I'll never forget. Well, I'm not even going to say that on the air. We can't go back to what Brazel said when he found out he was in our district. Yeah, the FCC, man. Get us on that one. But anyhow, rest of the district. You were talking about how subpar. It's hard to believe that Geyer, Plano, and McKinney are all 7-3 teams.
Wow.
And you're like,
Really?
really? That's kind of my thought. But they are, and those are the other three.
You wouldn't know it week in and week out.
Yeah.
Because you really can't predict.
You can't predict. There was no.
Well, and kudos to Plano. And again, Hebron's a different team, but Plano beat Hebron first game of the year.
Yeah.
You know, and there you have it. Take it for what it's worth.
Yeah.
But
And that's the reason they're in the playoffs, because they won that game.
yeah, and,
Boyd
well,
beats McKinney
Well,
last
that's a
night,
non-district
but
game.
doesn't
Yeah.
make the playoffs, and it's
No,
crazy.
it's
yeah. McKinney lost to Boyd for what, the 9th straight time last night.
And I picked that one too.
Well, he is just all over.
Some intelligence
Someone
is
poke
going
him.
on there.
Pop his
give me a
balloon,
Kleenex.
man.
It got a little on me.
Hey, I had to go big or go home. These guys, like I told Mark in email this week, I wasn't going to J-Don it and sit on it and pick the same picks that I know these yahoos are going to pick.
Yahoo!
All right,
But
so district playoff matchups. What
they
do
are.
we got? What do we
Well,
got?
before that, kudos to Plano because Plano had to win last night to get in, and they had a bear
Barn
of a game
burner of a game.
with
Yeah.
Plano
Plano
East.
East
Sounds like it
rivalry.
was awesome.
And I missed that one, okay?
You know, but I want to say one thing to Plano East.
Lord.
What was the final score there? It was-
41, 44, 41.
Oh, it was on the front page.
44-41.
Yeah.
Okay,
what?
and a couple of that, and I saw when Plano East first scored, they went for 2 again.
Didn't make it.
Dude, you're giving points away,
Yep.
and I can't figure that out. I don't know what.
I think
what,
he's got
You
one of
won't
his
kick for
mathematicians.
you won't kick for an extra point, but you'll kick a 56-yard field goal.
They've got a kicker. It's not like DeSoto where
Yeah.
they have to.
Yeah.
I can't figure out giving away easy points like that, but you know, it
Heads
is what
up.
it is, and maybe that's why
He's
you're
practicing for the playoffs.
3-7 or whatever Pesh is. But kudos to Plano for winning that. They
Yeah.
win, and bless their hearts, they get Trinity first round.
Winning
So,
in. Yeah.
good job.
And your run defense, you better sharpen that sucker up because you're going to need it.
You're gonna get a snoot full
Yeah.
of run left, run right. Here we come.
So
Hold on tight. You know,
Plano
whatever.
is the number 2 team in Division 1, and they take on Trinity.
In Division 2, you'd get Geyer and McKinney, even though they lost last night. Kudos to Boyd, stopped him on the 6-inch line as time expired because McKinney wouldn't kick the field goal to tie it because they didn't want to give Boyd. I read in the paper that they didn't want to give Boyd the opportunity to go to overtime to win by 8, which would have gotten them in the playoffs.
Oh, really?
If Plano had gotten
Tiebreakers.
beat or something,
They
yeah.
had-
So,
They had scenarios
Yeah,
all
they
worked out.
Yep.
so that's what
Yeah,
that's what the
that
paper
bit
said.
them in the butt.
They're
So
thinkers.
anyhow, they get it. Geyer plays.
Yeah, Geyer plays
Byron
Byron Nelson.
and McKinney gets
They're a very good
Allen
golf
Nemesis.
school.
Yeah.
They're
yeah.
a good golf school.
The Mean Green, golf and track and
South Lake and
tennis
McKinney.
school.
So
That'll be interesting. Where are they playing? They're playing at
South
Gargan.
Lake. Yeah, Gargan Stadium. Go Lions.
Yeah.
You know, go
No
Lions.
kidding.
Yeah,
So-
Gaeta 279 yards in a loss. Boy, he's
Ugh.
over 2,000 yards for the season.
It's pretty awesome on
Way to
his
go,
part.
young man.
So 668, do your part, win a game.
Or
See if-
2.
or 3.
Speaking of which, what do y'all think? Well, that could be part of Pick'em next week.
There you go.
Well, it'll be part of it. We'll get that taken care of. Looking at Allen's side of the bracket, the Allen plays Hebron. The winner of that game will play the winner of Belton and South Grand Prairie, which are 2 6-4 teams, I do believe. So
Yep. And then winner of
That'd
that
be
could
fun
be
to play South Grand Prairie because they
potential
don't have
third
Jack.
the
yeah.
potential third round game.
Hang on, let me finish
Yeah,
this
their
side of the
passing-
bracket.
Their passing game is out of sight, man.
That is that side of the
Yeah,
bracket.
it is.
Permian
Non-existent.
plays El Paso Coronado,
Ooh, that's a barn burner.
and Martin, with their quarterback back in the fold, plays Keller.
They're going to just.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord.
The Indian Nation ought to get upset about that.
Man.
You got Warriors versus Indians.
Indians. Oh,
So that's this side of the Region 1 bracket. On the other side, you've got Midland and El Paso Dorado.
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 Halton plays Arlington Lamar. Trinity and Plano, and then Duncanville plays Clean Ellison.
Yeah, and Martin destroyed Lamar last night.
So yes, Nolan, you were saying third round potential.
Arlington
round
Martin game.
Yeah, it could be
Wouldn't
Arlington
that be
Martin,
something?
or it could be
So
permanent.
do we get a hairless Wager or do we get a hairy Wager?
Oh. I'm backing off that one.
Dude, I ain't touching that one. What you've been waiting?
You've been holding out on that one?
You've been waiting on
Did
that
you write
one
that
all
down so
morning?
you didn't forget it?
Right there.
Oh my
Harry
gosh.
Dang,
Harry
man.
Wager.
Oh,
Man.
moving on.
He figures,
Washington
he
had a
figures,
Jersey
he figures
Harry
he's going to
Wager.
hit on one with all the crap he throws out all day.
Harry Wager's better than a Harry Wagger.
Oh my gosh. Y'all are killing me. All right, so here you go. Second round potentials: Belton or South Grand Prairie. South Grand Prairie.
Yep.
Third round, you run into, Martin, Keller, El Paso, Coronado, or
Road trip.
It's
Permian.
not El Paso.
Road trip.
Yeah, and then I think everybody, and we can do this because we can say whatever we want.
Yeah.
We look forward to round 4. Looming out there could be Duncanville, which I think everybody thinks will come through that. Which I think everybody is starting to think of them as a kind of a lead dark horse to maybe come out of Region 1. So they played very well.
Watching that
Is
DeSoto
Saxy
game.
going to be D1 or D2?
They're D1, but they're in Region 2.
Right.
Yeah, so
So
I
they're-
just noticed
but
they
they've
were
got
ranked
a,
number 3 in the state on the HS game time.
Oh, are
Scoreboard.
Scoreboard.
They
last
They had them ranked.
they
number
got a
3.
second round potential game looming with the Woodlands, just like last year.
night. Mhm.
Yeah.
So that'd
could
be
sink 'em.
interesting. Yeah, in there. But anyhow, that's the playoffs coming up. But we'll take it one game at a time, and we'll go to the Eagle Stadium next Friday night and see what they got.
I
Hebron
guess
is
we
the
do have
last.
to pick up our tickets, don't we?
Hebron is the last team to beat Allen at Eagle Stadium, by the way.
Oh, there's just a fun
The-
fact.
Double wide.
That is
Double
true.
wide.
2010.
All right, Thad. Rumor has it.
Rumor has it we may have to look for a new club president in the interim for next week. Our club president pulled a heel string last night trying to bust a move, getting ready to get on that TV show So You Think You Can Dance. But me being the reigning dance champion of the BEBC has challenged and thrown down the gauntlet that next Friday we will have a dance off. So you might want to bring your popcorn.
Sweet.
Get your popcorn ready.
belly in your shirt.
It's coming out.
Oh boy,
Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to wear my sunglasses.
that is awesome. Is it going to be painted?
No, it's gonna be flesh tone.
Toned.
That's so gross.
Oh, all right. There you have it. The challenge has been laid down, so we'll see what happens.
It ain't
with
much
that.
of a challenge.
Sherry's going to be here, nothing but Saturday Night Fever
Yeah, all week
the
long.
next week.
What are you doing? Practicing. Practicing for what?
I feel sorry for the crew that cleans the stadium up because there's gonna probably be some recycled nachos everywhere.
Things that can't be unseen.
Question is how
I'm
recycled.
not sitting in front of you.
45 minutes.
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
We're gonna have to call it. That'll have to be during the visiting band's performance.
There
I
you
think.
go.
We're gonna have to have a dance off in the stand.
we'll see.
Oh, I exacted some revenge last night. I
On.
went and tinkled while our band was on the field.
He was protesting.
Yeah.
You did what?
He
I went to
protested.
the boys' room.
And did what?
Tinkled.
Tangled.
Just wanted to make sure I heard that right.
Man,
Well, actually trickled. It's the size of a walnut.
I walked out too.
What
Took
is-
my chance to go to the
Welcome
men's
to
room.
Doctor's
Wanted to
Club.
see what it was like to be a band parent and walk out after halftime.
Oh.
There you go.
Boy, I got dirty looks when I was coming back those stairs. How dare you not watch my child's performance?
Yeah. I feel you, brother.
We have definitely taken a right turn somewhere.
College football today.
Albuquerque.
there is?
Yes.
There is lots of big games
Yeah.
today.
OU TCU, Big 12 matchup.
Notre Dame, Miami, Georgia, Auburn. There's lots of.
Catholics versus convicts.
Gotta love it.
Yep.
Can't wait.
Gotta.
What was that? Who showed
That's
up
one of
at
the
game
best
day?
30 for 30.
30 for 30
Yep.
shows that there is.
Yeah, if you
Until they
haven't seen that.
busted out Ric Flair this past week.
Oh,
Game
geez.
day Jesus, man.
But yeah, a lot's going to be decided on the college front. I'm especially interested in that Oklahoma TCU game to see if TCU's defense can.
This is legit.
Yeah, can stop the bake.
And Kenny Hill, if he can not throw 4 interceptions.
See if Oklahoma can come up with any defense.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
It's very evident to me that they don't have
ever
any
since
defense.
they-
They're going to have to
Oklahoma's-
outscore anybody.
Oklahoma's good defense will be
They're off.
TCU bad offense.
Yes.
Well, ever since Tay Evans
Yeah,
left the game, man, it hadn't been the same for me.
that might be but yeah, there's plenty of good football on today. Michigan State, Ohio State's early game.
Yeah, Arkansas, LSU. Oh,
Go
wait.
Spartans!
Arkansas, LSU.
Did anybody pick Arkansas?
Yes,
No.
somebody did pick Arkanssa.
I think it was
Who?
Allen.
I believe I did.
Allen did.
I love you, brother, but it ain't going to happen.
You just never know.
We'll see.
LSU could lay a.
Arkansas's trying to get the boot back, so
Gatorade.
we'll see.
Yeah, you got all sorts of stuff going on.
Let's not bring my personal life into it. No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
For those of you wanting to see Christian play, he's on at 8:30 tonight.
Arizona State,
Yep, they're
number
on.
2, back in the game.
Washington played last night. Did they end up beating
We
Stanford?
lost.
Lost to Stanford.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Hurts.
Howie, that hurts their chances.
They used to be number 5.
Levi playing?
Yeah, playing some,
man.
yeah.
He's balling.
He's bowed up
good.
too.
Oh yeah.
So
As big as Tejon?
He's definitely taller.
he's taller
Well,
and
yeah.
big. He probably weighs more than Tejon too. at
He's
this point.
He's pushing 300.
Jeez.
290.
That extra 5 inches goes a long way.
You know, I've said that.
Height-wise.
I've said that for
Height-wise.
years.
Stop it. Golly.
Oh.
Anything else, fellas? We're open forum here.
Well, I think we've been open form for 15 minutes.
We might have been.
I'm not very emotional today, so I'll just leave it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe you'll pick up some emotion during the week.
I could find some.
Welcome
emotion
back, by the way.
Yeah,
Hope that
sweet
foot
emotion.
foot
Little-
continues to
Thank
heal.
you.
We feel bad about not telling everybody what the old X-ray on the podcast last week was.
That was Bunyan Boy.
So what's it like having a pig's toe?
He's got his grandpa's sock on down there.
Yeah, he does, man. Walking boot.
So continue to heal. Don't,
Thank you.
Don't
We
kick
love
the
you, brother.
bedpost.
Yeah, no dancing for me.
You saw how much sympathy we show, and we go straight to the top.
It's like one of those hospital socks.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Oh my gosh.
Is there batteries?
The grip's on the top. It should be on the bottom.
There's
got lights
on
in there?
both sides.
Oh.
It's amphibious.
Or when you're
It
breakdancing.
goes, yeah, exactly.
All right, folks. That's enough nonsense from us. So we'll see you Friday night, Eagle Stadium. So until next week.
Hey up!
Oh,
Hey, up.
speaking of which, next week.
Oh,
Oh.
what happens next
Y'all
week?
want to stay tuned because we are in the process of acquiring
Acquiring.
a
Negotiations?
very, very special guest, which if you're an Allen fan, you will not want to miss because many of you will consider
miss
this
it.
person an Allen nemesis. And they've
The enemy.
tentatively agreed to
Is
come
that
on our
like Irving
podcast.
Nemesis?
Yeah. Showing a lack of appreciationalism.
So we're going to give him the chance to talk. And he wants to come on our podcast, so we might have him. So stay tuned for that. So until next week, it's over and we're out.